Happy Monday. It's the Weekly Pint. I'm the Gnarly Gnome. Hopefully everything is actually working the way it's supposed to this week. Because after last week, I'm just not so sure. We've had more internet issues in the last week than I think I can handle. But it all looks like it's working right now, and we'll see. Sierra Nevada just announced their Celebration Ale. I saw that on Twitter or something. Marco says his Christmas ale isn't in the tank yet. Brad says that theirs is, and I actually saw something on social media of you guys brewing it the other day too. I'm not ready for Christmas ales yet, but get them in tanks because when I'm ready, I want them. As far as pumpkin beers, I'm all in on it right now. And still, Oktoberfests, I'm still all in on that right now too. So I'm almost at that sweet spot of the year where all of the seasonals work for me, and we're close. We're not there yet though. Speaking of which, I need to crack open a beer. I did drink another Oktoberfest earlier while we were putting the kids to bed, and it was my very last Rockin' the Rhine. Heartbreaking, but I still have a bunch of Oktoberfest left. I still have almost one of all of them. I was gonna do some stuff for the vlog with it, but I figured that's ridiculous now. At this point, I should just wait, and I'll do it next year. I will be better about video, so that's that. I'm drinking High Grains Fest beer, Teresa's Meadow. I have a hard time remembering the beer names of High Grains beers, because in there, if you've ever been to their tap room, when you look at the list of all of their beers, they don't have them listed by their actual names. They have the style really big, which it makes sense. It's what everybody orders anyways. When I walk up to the bar, I don't say, I'd like, well, I don't know. I guess it depends on the brewery, but let's see. Julia's drinking Street Side's Horchata Demogorgon. Loved that beer. I've had a lot of Horchata Imperial Stouts, and this was the first one that I've had that had that cinnamon note to it instead of just some kind of chili peppers. It was delicious. I loved that one. And Matt Damaris is drinking Cool Beans from Jackie O's. I have not had that beer in a really long time. We drank it on Cincy Brewcast one episode, like really long time ago. Let me see how long it's been. That one I know that I've got notes on. We've had a lot of Jackie O's beers on the show. Let's see. At least I thought I did. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm actually completely wrong and I haven't had it on the show. Maybe it was somewhere else that I had it. But I thought for sure. Cool Beans. Well, I'll be damned. Now that's going to bother me a lot. I have pretty good notes. And I say pretty good because they definitely are not perfect. But I do have pretty good notes. Let's see. Is that favorite brewery out of Canada? I couldn't even tell you. I probably could only name like a handful, not even a handful, like a couple Canadian breweries. So if there's anybody else that knows any Canadian breweries, feel free to shout yours out. I spend a lot of time, and I emphasize a lot of time, drinking beer here in Cincinnati, and it's really, we'll put quotes around difficult because you are just drinking beer, so it's not that difficult. But I spend a lot of time trying to keep up with everything here, and that consumes a lot of time, we'll say. And so I don't get out to other places often, and I don't know that there is a large number of Canadian breweries that I can get a hold of down here. I mean, you've got the big kind of macro ones, but that doesn't count, right? Surely the best brewery can't be like Labatt's or Molson or something like that. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm crazy, but Julia says that the horchata Demogorgon tastes like she might have a rough morning at work tomorrow. Maybe. I'm going to have a good day at work tomorrow because I am off tomorrow. Tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow we're brewing this year's batch of Big Cis. So I will be, actually don't have to get up as early as I normally. I probably still get up at the same time just to get some work done here. But we are going to be up at Municipal bright and early to brew this year's batch. I don't know if we've mentioned out loud what the style is, but it is not a Pilsner for the first time ever. The first 2 years at Braxton, it was a straight up Czech Pilsner. First year at Alexandria, it was we'll call it a hybrid, a Copper Pilsner. And then due to unforeseen circumstances, we'll call it that, last year's ended up being just a blonde ale. So it's always been kind of a light, easy drinker. Not that this won't be an easy drinking year, but it is a dark beer because we are in the fall and we're heading into that time of year where people tend to want dark beers. Yeah, not a Pilsner, but so I mean, we'll just go ahead and talk about it. That's the point of this show that isn't a show, right? It's a tropical stout, which not that Mike was a huge home brewer, but he definitely homebrewed a few times, and the last style of beer that he made was a tropical stout. And if I'm right here, this is his recipe that he brewed as that last one that he scaled up a bit. Let's see, Collective Arts, Nickelbrook, Flying Monkey, Brasserie Durham are some of his favorites. Miles. You know what? I've probably had Nickelbrook. That sounds familiar. Collective Arts, I think I've had some, but not a lot. Have you tried Dark Throne yet? I have not. So that's Brad works for Fretboard, for anybody that doesn't know. They collaborated with Branch and Bone and brewed a dark Czech lager. Is that the style? Did I get that right? I don't actually know what exactly makes it a dark Czech lager. I don't know how that's different from like a Dunkel, or if it is just a Dunkel, just maybe some more Czech ingredients. Nice. So it'll be a stout this year. Yes, it'll be a tropical stout. I'm sure I'll do something. I'll fire some stuff out on social media tomorrow as we're making it with some other stuff about it. And then not this coming week's vlog, but the week after that, that episode will all be us brewing the beer, some stuff from that. And yeah, that's probably all so far that I know content will be out for the next week or so about Big Cis. Heading to Indy this weekend for the Bengals-Colts game. Any indie breweries you'd recommend? We have been to several indie breweries. Sun King is obvious. I think that they're probably the Rheingeist of indie, right? They're big. They're good. We spent some time. God, I have to think now. The one that's in the church. I don't know the recipe yet, Marco. I will check for lactose. Oh yeah, Taxman. I've heard good things about Taxman. I've never been there though. The St. Joseph, we always, well, not always, we've ate there a few years in a row. We always, and again, not always because COVID, but every year up until this year, we go out to the Children's Museum and then eat dinner somewhere at a brewery. And the St. Joseph's, I think is the name of it. We've gone there a couple times and enjoyed ourselves. The last year, so 2 years ago, I guess, we went to Big Lug, the Big Lug Canteen. It was okay, but yeah, I've heard amazing things about Taxman. They do a lot of Belgian styles, if I'm right. I know if you guys are podcast listeners, Brett Coleman Baker and Michael D. Morgan, they do or did or hiatus from doing, I don't know how that works, a show called the Brew Skies Happy Hour, and they did an episode with one of the owners from Taxman. Forgive me, I don't know which one. So if you are interested in learning more about them, you could always go and listen to that episode, and it might fill you in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, just go. I think, and I could be wrong, I think that for most of us, you may not like everything you drink there, but there's few breweries that you can go to and you can sit and hang out and walk out without having something that you were okay with and that you enjoyed yourself with. It is beer, after all. You're gonna enjoy yourself a little bit, right? Cincy Brewcast, I apologize. No episode this week. I don't often take weeks off, but we were camping with the family and taking a little time off. And then the night that I was supposed to record an episode, it ended up being a little more hectic than we anticipated, and we just couldn't get time to break away and do that. And I will talk a little bit more about that night on this week's vlog, which will hopefully, I emphasize hopefully, be up sometime on Wednesday. But I got to get it finished. I have to record tape. Do you tape things on video now? I don't know. I have to record a couple other just little things to kind of tie it all together. And then get working on next week's. It's the vlog has been a really, really fun kind of learning experience. It's an adventure, we'll say that. What else has been going on? What has everybody else been up to? Oh, Jesus, sorry. I guess you guys are used to hearing me yawn in your ear on Monday nights. Miles is excited to try Cartridge when it opens, as am I, and we are going to be doing that very soon. I should have a date in front of me here somewhere. I believe our episode of Cincy Brewcast with Cartridge, as of right now, we've rescheduled it 47 times at this point. We're scheduled to record it before this, but the episode will post on October 26th, as of right now. And they did announce their grand opening, if anybody didn't catch that news. I haven't written about it on the blog yet because I am a slacker and super, super busy. It's good to go, I promise. It's all right. I understand the way all of this works. But grand opening was announced for the weekend of Halloween. So October 31st through November 1st, grand opening weekend. We will talk about all of that on the show on the 26th. And I'm really, really, really excited to see what they've done kind of with the space and to see what it's all about. Marco says he's looking forward to Cartridge, watching Facebook to try to get reservations for the opening weekend. It's a really, really, really interesting kind of weekend to do your grand opening. Kind of the same way that who else did something like that on a holiday? I don't know. It's not important, but you throw it on this weekend to where people are already a little bit busy, so it kind of thins out that crowd a little bit, and you don't have to stress out as much about getting swamped. It's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous place. An iconic kind of building in that area of town. In that area of town. So I keep getting sidetracked. I started talking about my beer earlier and then never got around to it. So if you go into High Grain, they have all the styles written out on the board, but they don't have the beer names. The beer names might be on there, but they're little, and they do that on the cans too. So this just says Fest Beer Lager really big, if you can see that, and then the beer name is really tiny right under it. So this is Teresa's Meadow. But the point is, I always forget what the beers are called because it's really little. Insider tip: details on reservation requests coming out tomorrow on social media and the mailing list. Yes. Julia is also looking forward to going back to Rebel Metal. Had a great time, great beers when she went last Saturday. Yes, I've been really enjoying Rebel Metal the couple times that I've been there. It's a really kind of low key space. Like, it feels really comfortable, but at the same time it's big and it's nice, and they have games to play, and they have some really good kind of easy drinking beer that you can just kind of sit and hang out with your friends and drink a lot of for a long time. And that's what I like. Whatever that pinball machine is, if they haven't moved stuff around, that is on that main floor, kind of in the front of the space. I guess that's considered the front. It is such a fun. It's really old and really kind of, I guess, manual. Not that makes sense, but it's just such a fun pinball machine. So go and play that if you're a pinball fan. Miles says he still needs to visit Rebel Metal and the new Braxton. If you went to 3 Points, Braxton will feel familiar. They didn't destroy kind of that vibe of what 3 Points was too much. Now, it definitely put the Braxton spin on it, and there's no mistaking when you walk in that it is Braxton, but the space is not going to shock you, and certainly the beer isn't going to shock you because it's all the beer that you're familiar with right now. I assume at some point that will start to shift a little bit, and you'll see some other fun stuff coming out of there that isn't the standard Braxton stuff, but as of right now, it's Braxton. Julia is really looking forward to the new beer they have in the tanks that isn't surly. Gonna taste, even though it's not Cartridge. I think it's good. So when they announce it, get there and get some. I'm looking forward to. What am I looking forward to right now? I'm looking forward to Big Cis. I'm looking forward to it's open. Julia asked if they announced the opening date for the Pendleton Braxton location. Yes, it is officially open now. I don't think that they have brewed anything there yet, and I could be wrong on that, but I have not seen anything released that I think was made in-house. Could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone. Miles says he visited 3 Points 5 to 6 times, so he's excited to see if they do anything new. Yes. Like I said, it definitely is familiar if you've been to to 3 Points. How did I miss that? It fell like on a weird weekend, I think, and there was no build up to the announcement that they were open. It was just kind of like a Thursday or something. Hey, we're open tomorrow, just so you know, kind of thing. If I remember right. What? There was something going on. God, I can't remember now. It might not have been an actual like holiday or anything. It might have been just something going on in my life. I get confused sometimes. I forget what things are happening around me. Yeah, so there's that. I am getting out to Paradise over in Anderson. That will be this next week's episode of Cincy Brewcast. I haven't sat down with them for a while. Want to kind of chat about how they've been doing. The never-ending topic of COVID and how people are managing through all of that. They have crowlers now. I don't know if everybody saw that. That was big news for them and a huge kind of boost for them. A lot of places have moved into crowlers now. I think that, obviously the change in the beer market and the beer world kind of forced a lot of people into that. But you have places, like Deadlow just announced that they have crowlers now, who they just celebrated their first anniversary. Miles wants to know, are there new breweries in the pipeline to open in 2021? Sort of. There are a few places that are kind of in progress. I just don't know for a fact if any of them are on track in a way that I would call them ready to open in 2021. I guess that's the easiest way to word that. But there are some places that have said that the projects are still in the works. So like Listerman's downtown beer hall, the German beer hall idea, is technically still in the works, but obviously for all of the reasons you would expect, it's just kind of stalled. So like until there's a better idea of what's happening in the market, they aren't pushing for it to happen. And I think we talked about this. I assume we talked about this the last time they were on the show. There's a place over in Price Hill called Verge, and they were getting really close to getting rolling on stuff, and then all of this hit, and that just kind of completely tanked the idea for now. I don't know how what time frame they're going to be looking at for making it happen again, if they're going to make it happen again. Yeah, Verge. I know that it's stalled out. The other big one that a lot of people had talked about was called Off the Rails, not Off Track, which is a whole different thing, but Off the Rails was a project that Basil's was doing up in Mason. They were going to put a brewery into the Big Basil's. They're kind of just out of downtown, and COVID happened, and that Basil's closed. The equipment just sat out in the parking lot for 4 months, and I haven't looked back there to see if it's still there or not, but that's definitely not happening now, so that one is gone. What else would I consider? I think that's all that are really on my to coming soon list. Although the place up in Oxford, that Books and Brews, has a brewing license. And I say the place, like you guys know, there's like where Quarter Barrel used to be in Oxford, in downtown Oxford. They the people that took over that space have a brewing license still. And they have said that they have intentions on starting to brew someday. It'll be a real small kind of thing, but yeah, they had tanks out in the parking lot. They just never made it into the building. I shouldn't laugh because it's really sad, but definitely a casualty, I guess, of all of this. That's the only big projects that I know are even on the tip of anybody's tongue right now. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see anybody open in 2021. Personally. And that's new places, maybe, expansions, or there might be some places that try to do other locations, second locations or whatnot, but I don't anticipate a lot, if any, new projects. So that's that. Has anybody been to any kind of beer events? Is that still a thing? I mean, I know, so to kind of jump ahead to this week's vlog, I talked about, I went to BC's when they were prepping for their big online beer festival, which kind of started a whole thought process about online beer festivals and what they are and how they exist and why you do them and how you do them right and yada yada yada. But got me just thinking about beer events in general and how strange they've become and how rare they've become. Excuse me. Oh goodness. That's right. Virtual GABF is this weekend. I need to get around and start stopping at places for this passport thing. Get me some of my specials. It is kind of fun because a lot of times when there's been any kind of like an online conference or anything like that, as far as the beer industry, it's always a bad time of day for me. Like I can't stop feeding the kids and putting the kids to bed to go do these things. But GABF, since it's on mountain time, it's a little bit later in the evening, and I might actually be able to see some of the stuff. Although it's on a weekend, so who knows. Lebanon's OKtoberfest was this weekend. Yes, I remember seeing a sign for that the last time I drove through Lebanon. Didn't go, but my beer was there. Says Marco. My beer was not there. My beer stays right here. That's awesome. Love that beer. This was one of those ones that got knocked out in the first round this year and shouldn't have. It was just kind of the luck of the luck of the bracket, I guess. Let's see if I can see who they went up against. Because I do not remember. I'm really bad. My memory is completely shot anymore. Let's see. Luckily, I have notes on everything. High Grain went against Grainworks. Yeah, I thought Grainworks was fantastic this year. So, bad luck to High Grain to get stuck there. We'll have to definitely shift how we do that whole thing next year, but it'll be fun. The GABF Awards are Friday at 7. They're also being streamed. Yes. I assume you guys entered something. If so, what did you enter? Because I'm curious. I'm excited to see how this year works. I don't know if there will be more people that have entered beers because they think there's a better shot, because they think there won't be as many beers, or if there really won't be as many beers that get entered this year just because people can't go and it's not the same, and the uncertainty of that. I know Brink entered some stuff. That's the only one I know for sure. 5 beers. Anything you are extremely excited about? Grainworks really nailed their Oktoberfest this year. They did. There are not many packaged Oktoberfests that were released this year in Cincinnati that I tried that I thought were bad. There were definitely some that were better than others, and I will say that there were. Yeah, I'm sure Vlad was one of them. There were some that were better than others, like I said, and there were maybe, I'm going to say maybe 1 or 2 that just didn't stand out at all, that kind of got, we'll say, lost in the shuffle. Not that they were bad, but Grainworks was a standout as far as a surprise contender for me this year. Not that I think Grainworks doesn't make good beer, but that Oktoberfest wasn't one that just kind of jumped out in my head as kind of one of the front runners in the city. It's just kind of a sleeping giant, I guess. But I'm excited to see what happens next year. Let's just put it that way. I'm excited to see how it all breaks out next year with a better structured event. Vlad rocking the Rhine, drummer boy, peso in my hand. Can't remember the fifth. Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Some of those, the hard part is always just category, and you're just, you're trying to hit the right category and trying to enter the right category. This whole field beer thing, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on with competitions, but I'm excited to see how you guys do. I'm excited to see how a lot of people do. So I will be hopefully tuned in. We'll see. I think somebody to have anything going on that night. That's the way it usually works. You said it's 7 p.m. Eastern. Are you sure? It wasn't 7 Mountain Time? Because 7 seems a little earlier than I was thinking in my head it was. I hope not. There's nothing on my calendar for Friday right now, so we'll see. Mellowship. I have not had a Mellowship in a while. I do like that beer. All right, guys. We'll start wrapping it up here. 5 Mountain Time. All right, I stand corrected. I hope that there's some kind of replay that I can play if I miss it. There's some years that it's just so exciting watching those awards roll in, and people live tweeting the event and stuff, and it's just such a fun time. I love it. I watched last year at work from my phone. I feel like I remember watching in bed one year, so I felt like it was later. Maybe I was just in bed at 6 p.m. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And if you sign up for the passport, I think is how you have to get to the other content that they're doing. But there is a whole bunch of other kind of conferencey things that they're doing all I guess all weekend. Maybe it's just through Saturday. That's all live streamed that you can kind of just jump on and watch. But you got to get this little passport code thing. So get on to GABF's website. You can read all about that, because I think it's cool. And they have little tasting guides for each thing. The things that the beers you're supposed to line up somehow. You're supposed to get a hold of Russian River. Marco wants to know if Brink will hit Small Brewery of the Year 3 years in a row. That would be awesome. That would be crazy, actually. I don't know the statistics of how many breweries have done that, but it would be cool to see. It would definitely get people talking about a few things. All right, guys, let's wrap it up so that I can get upstairs and manage the other side of my life. But like I said, tomorrow we're brewing Big Cis, so kind of pay attention. Social media of some kind. I'm sure I'll post some stuff on Instagram. Definitely. Maybe throw some kind of a quick live stream out there at some point. Speaking of GABF, favorite brewery from Colorado. Again, very difficult for me. It would have been an easy New Belgium at one point, but I don't know that that's true anymore. just need a list. Give me a list of a bunch of Colorado breweries, and I'll tell you which one's my favorite. I like Left Hand a lot. Yep, so never even heard of Equinox. Odell, okay. Maybe I have heard Equinox. Somebody told me about Equinox. It might have even been you guys. I don't know, guys. For as much beer as I drink, I really just drink mostly Cincinnati beer. It's a lot of beer to keep up with. Cut me some slack. I would love to be able to travel a little bit at some point and get out there and get to some of the other beer cities that I know that I need to get out there and experience. Need to get out to Colorado, up to Michigan. I want to get back down to Asheville. Haven't been there for a year and a half or something, probably more than that, and love everything that's happening there. You know how it goes. There's all the beer in the world to drink and only so many hours in the day to drink it. But everybody get some sleep. Have a good day tomorrow and have a good week. And stay tuned because there's lots of fun stuff. Beer Status. Solid for their lagers. Well, I'm sold. I'll book my flight tomorrow. Like I said, stay tuned. Big Cis content coming. Paradise next week on the Brewcast. Vlogs every Wednesday-ish. I think I'm settling into that as a normal schedule. Yeah, it's slow pour Pilsner. Oh, love slow pour Pilsners. Go to, although they had it at the brew pub at 50 West. I don't know if they have it on at the production facility or not, but they always had a slow pour tap there. And they're also, I don't know if they've announced this yet, but I did get confirmation. They're doing a bunch of stuff for winter this year, so for kind of the holiday season. As is Braxton, they've got a little igloos going on the roof and stuff. I don't know. There's going to be some fun stuff this winter, and I'll have a couple fun brewcasts that will come from some of those things. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for lots of fun stuff. That's the lesson of the day here. And whatever your medium that you like to listen to things is, because I'm on a lot of mediums, we'll put it that way. Stay tuned to that because there will be something fun. Like I said, everybody have a good night and have a good week. And stick around tomorrow for some fun Big Cis content. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you soon.